Hey guys, so I am so excited for today because I've been wanting to learn how to make pupusas forever. It's something I grew up eating as a kid, and I have the original version from El Salvador. And my friend Rosa, you're gonna be in the camera today. Rosa me va a estar ayudando. She's gonna be helping me. She's teaching me how to make pupusas, and I'm super excited. So we already started. We have our flour. It's masa de maíz. Maíz, and it's about 2.5 cups. So this is what we're gonna use to make our tortilla. This right here is our, how do you say it in Spanish?
Repollo.
No, not repollo, pero
Curtido.
It's our curtido, which is basically pickled cabbage, guys. And what we did right now is we have some shredded cabbage. We have a few rings of onion in there, and also we took a carrot and we just shaved it in there with some dry oregano. We're about to add some vinegar to it. So we're gonna show you the whole process of what it is to make real authentic pupusas. And the ones we're making today are bean and cheese, right? The frijol y queso? Frijol y queso, all right? So you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna just talk us through the whole entire process while Rosa is helping me. She's camera shy. ¿Para qué? Me tienes que ayudar. Ok, entonces, ¿a dónde quedamos ahora?
Vamos a hervir agua y vamos a echarle el repollo y lo vamos a dejar así por unos 40 minutos o 30 y vamos a cocinar los tomates con la cebolla.
Okay, so because we are starting from the very beginning, she's showing us how to pickle the cabbage, because this is the salsa that you put on top of the pupusa. It tastes so good when you eat it together. So we're gonna take all of this, we're gonna put some water to boil, we're gonna add it to our cabbage so that it cooks really well, and also add vinegar to it as well. Then we're gonna get our red sauce together as well. So we're gonna be cooking these tomatoes and onion all together. So we're gonna get into that step right now. So for us to make sure that the tomatoes cook faster, Rosa is cutting the tomatoes in pieces, real big chunks. We have a ring of onion in there already, and we're gonna put this to boil on top of the stove. ¿Esto también?
Así. Vamos a ponerle dos ajitos.
Oh, we're also gonna add garlic to it. So she brought the full garlic. I have minced garlic already. You guys know I'm lazy and I don't like to dice anything. About 2 cloves, so I'm gonna put like
Una.
2. Solona? Oh, 1. 1 garlic. There's a teaspoon of garlic that's gonna be in here. Onion, tomato, and we're gonna add a little bit of salt. And we're gonna put this to be on our salsa. So the salt is to your liking of however much salt you like to use. We used about 2 pinches of salt to go into our tomato and onion mixture. We have the water boiling for our cabbage on this side right now. We're gonna just let this sit and cook on the stove. I gotta find my cups. I got the top at the first try.
Me gusta más porque tiene menos grasa.
Okay.
Ajá, el otro mozzarella me gusta, pero me gusta más este porque tiene
This
menos
is the
grasa.
sabor que quieres. Okay,
Ajá, sí.
so the next things that we have, guys, that are already prepared for us is our beans. Rosa took it upon herself to get the beans ready before she came here. But the beans are just regular beans that you would prepare at home. You could just soak them overnight in water with your condiments. You could put them on a crock pot overnight, and then you just blend them basically in a blender so you have the refried aspect. And if you really, really grew up like I grew up, this doesn't mean that there's ice cream in it. There's something else in there, okay? So we have our cheeses, because we're making bean and cheese pupusas. This is queso Oaxaca. This is a Mexican type cheese. It's not as greasy as mozzarella is. It's a little bit less greasier side, a little bit less saltier. It's a different taste, but this is like the traditional cheese that you would use in pupusas. Also, we have queso fresco, fresh cheese, you know, like your coquita cheese almost. You can get all of this at your local Spanish supermarket here in LA. We go to Vallarta's. That's where we get our stuff. So she's gonna put the queso fresco in the bowl, our refried beans that are already prepared. Si quisieras usar los frijoles de lata, puedes usar de esos.
Pero queda mejor con que uno hace.
If you want to use canned refried beans, you can, but if you want it to come out really good, then you want to use fresh refried beans. Or be friends with Rosa and maybe she'll hook you up.
Vamos a mixtear los quesos.
Okay, so we're gonna mix the fresh cheese in with the Oaxaca cheese, put it in a big bowl, put together. I'm really just walking you guys through this because I'm not cooking. I'm waiting for us to get dirty with the masa and with the tortillas. That's really where I'm gonna help out at. Entonces la mezclamos.
Hacemos mix de los frijoles después.
Okay.
Primero el queso.
Okay. So just with your hands, you just go ahead and mush it together. ¿Cuántas veces haces pupusas para tu familia? ¿Cada mes o cada 3 meses? Or
No, más o menos como al mes.
una mes? One time a month she makes it. This is a process, guys. This isn't like something easy to do. I had to beg Rosa. I was like, please show me how to make pupusas. So I finally got her here to help me out. Thanks to Christian. Shout out to Christian. So we're mixing our cheese as well. ¿Cómo querés que quede el queso cuando lo mezclas juntos?
Que esté suavecito. Si siento que necesita estarlo haciendo así más tiempo, tengo que sentir que está suavecito, mixto.
Okay, so you want to mix your cheeses until you feel that the cheeses are really soft and blended in together. You don't want hard lumps of cheese inside your mixture because remember you're going to add beans to this mixture as well. I'm going to go check on the water. Este ya está hirviendo.
¿Esa la pone al repollo, por favor?
Okay. So this is our boiled water that we're putting in our cabbage mixture that's going to be going on top of our pupusa. Me vas a decir cuánto, ¿verdad?
Sí, póngasela toda.
¿Toda?
Sí.
¿Toda?
Sí.
So this is about 1.5 cups of water that we put to boil. She said put all of it in our cabbage and onion and carrots and oregano mixture. Okay. ¿Y tapamos esto o no?
Solo lo menea con una cuchara.
Ok.
Con un tenedor. Cucharadita de vinagre.
Okay.
Y poquita sal.
Okay. So we mix it together. Remember we have our dried oregano, the cabbage, carrots, onion, all of that. I've always wanted to learn how to make this. I never knew what it took. We're gonna add some vinegar. I mean, this is cuánto. Pretty much you would do a tablespoon of vinegar or 2 tablespoons. So, yeah. That's it? Yeah.
Ahora sal.
Me, I'd have been like, because I like it tart. Y sal.
Sí, sal al gusto.
Salt is to your liking, however you want to add it. Some people do this, let this salad overnight so that you really get the pickled effect. You can do it same day and just let it sit for a few hours. Sal al gusto. Yes, please, yeah. About 2 pinches of salt. Okay. And mind you, she's still working the cheese over there, making sure that it's really soft. So it's not something that you just blend together. You want to do it by hand because you want to feel the texture of the cheese to make sure you have it at the right amount.
Puedes sentir su queso, el queso con su mano, a ver cómo lo siente. Y así sientes que está más suavecito.
See, I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling it that it's really, really soft. You want to blend it to the fact that you don't even know which one is the fresh and which one is the Oaxaca. You want to have it really, really blended, and it feels super soft in my hand. So yeah.
Ahora está así, ya podemos revolver los frijoles.
Okay, so now we're gonna mix in our beans. ¿Necesitamos cuchara para esto? Or no? I said, do we need a spoon? She's like, no. No spoon. What? No, we're going in. Gully style, right there.
Ahora podemos mixtearlo ya junto.
Y
Los frijoles tienen de estar así suavecitos también para poderlos.
okay, so you have to make sure that your refried beans are also soft as well, so that you can mix it together in the mixture, and you're gonna be blending it. It's all same texture, really, really soft. What you don't want is lumpy beans and lumpy cheese inside of your Beans are a very tricky thing to do because it's an overnight process, something that you're going to be doing the night before. We're going to do a separate video with Rosa where she's going to be just teaching me how to make refried beans from scratch. Again, if you do use the ones that are already made in the can, it's not going to come out with the same texture. Now, the kind of beans that we're using, I was wrong. I thought it was black beans, but we're actually using kidney beans, red beans. So, overnight process, you got to soak the beans, you got to make sure that it's the right texture, you got to blend the beans in the blender, then you have to put them on the fryer, you got to cook the beans so they cook down and have the right, refried texture. You have to cool the beans. It's a process. So that's why she did the beans ahead of time for us. Now we have our masa, our flour. This is corn flour. She also was explaining to me that she adds a little bit of rice flour in it as well, so that the texture of the tortilla is a little bit on the harder side, because if you use just corn, it's going to be really, really soft and fall apart on you easily. So we're going to start making our tortilla mix right now. Add the rice flour too, because we want it to be a little bit on the harder side. So this is about 2 cups and a half of corn flour, masa for the tortilla. This is rice flour. ¿Cuánto le echamos?
Más o menos, no le echo mucho porque no te queden más duritas cuando se cocinan.
So she doesn't add that much rice flour to it. I want to say that this is about half a cup of rice flour to your 2.5 cups of corn masa flour. Okay, and then we're going to add our water slowly. Entonces eso se hace despacio, ¿verdad? Okay. So as I'm pouring the water in, she's mixing the flour. This is about 2 cups of flour. 2 cups of water. I'm sorry. And here's the thing, when you're making your masa for your tortillas, it's really by feel, guys. You want it to be like a doughy texture. You don't want it to be too liquidy. That's why we kind of add water slowly as we go. So I've added now, I'm almost at 3 cups. Masa agua? Now I'm at 3 cups of water that I've added to our mixture. I'm gonna see if Chef Rosa dice que we need more water. ¿Sabes que sí o no? So I think we're made it at 3 cups of water. Again, you have to feel it. You want it to be kind of like Play-Doh when you make the masa, and you're just kneading and kneading and kneading away. This is why I had to beg her to help me, to teach me, because this is a long process. You're gonna appreciate every pupusa that you've ever eaten in your entire life after seeing how long this process takes. So 3 cups of water in, and we're still going with more water. It's a lot of masa that we're making right now. Again, it's just texture, guys. You gotta keep on feeling it out, seeing if your dough is too dry. You don't want it dry at all. Guys, si quiere más. ¿Más agua? Yep. I think we're almost at a little bit over 3 cups now. We're almost at 3 cups and a half of water. You don't want liquidy dough. Again, you want to make Play-Doh. You don't want no dry pieces either. Everything needs to be very well blended. This is nothing that you can make in a blender or kneading it on a mixer. You have to do this by hand. So we're letting our tomato, onion mixture that was on our stove boiling cool down a little bit before we put it in the blender to make it saucy. Right now we have our flat griddle that's warming up. You want to preheat this before you start making your pupusas, because we're gonna mix the frijole and the masa together to form the pupusa. So we're gonna preheat this. You don't want it burning hot because you don't want to burn your pupusa. This is called, well, here it's called a flat griddle, but you can find it in Spanish. It's a comal, and it's a little bit thinner if you get it from the Spanish supermarkets. This one is a larger cast iron griddle, so we're gonna cross our fingers in hopes that this works, but all worst case scenario, Rosa brought hers from home that we can use as well. So we're in hold mode right now. So these chili peppers that we have right now are the chili peppers that we're gonna put inside of our salsa that we're making. And you wanna toast them on your comal. When you see them starting to get a little bit on the brown, darker side, roasted, really dark, that's when you know that they're ready, and you can add them to your tomato mixture, and we're gonna blend it all together and give it some spice in that salsa. Okay guys, we're gonna start making our sauce now. We put our toasted chili peppers inside of where we're going to blend. I don't have my blender, I have a NutriBullet, which is just fine to use as a blender as well. We're gonna put our tomato, onion, and garlic that we had cooking on the oven into here. Let me get this spoon.
I have a feeling it's gonna be a mess.
I have a confession to make. I've never made fresh salsa before. I'm so not traditional. And NutriBullet works just as well as, you know, a blender. So make sure this is tight so that it doesn't come out. Y lo liqueo.
Sí.
¿Sí?
Y hasta que se pare solito.
Okay. ¿Hasta que qué?
Cuando se para solito, ¿no?
No.
¿No?
No. So we're gonna keep an eye on this. Make sure our sauce is really well blended. One thing for sure, if you're using a NutriBullet at home and not a traditional blender, make sure that you do not add your ingredients when it's hot. You gotta let it cool down before you add it into the NutriBullet. Whereas in a blender, you can actually blend hot cooked food. Another thing, the NutriBullet doesn't make it as liquidy as a traditional blender would. So that means I have an excuse to buy a blender now. So we're about to start our mixture, our process of putting the masa and the frijole mixture together. What you want to have is a little bowl of water on the side, because this tends to dry up as the air is exposed to it, and you don't want dry masa when you're making your pupusa. So you're going to be dipping your hand inside of the water to form your pupusa to make sure that it's right, and that's going to be going straight to the stove. So because I've never used my griddle before, what we're gonna do to prep it is we're gonna have a little bit of olive oil on a napkin to, okay, and she's gonna dress the griddle basically with a napkin to be sure that our pupusas don't stick. Because I have no idea if I've ever used this before. Okay, so we're gonna start formulating our pupusas. We know that our griddle is already hot, so she's just gonna wet her hands, get the masa. Voy a hacer uno contigo. Me mojo las manos, ¿verdad?
Sí.
So I wet my hands in the water. Grab, así, ¿sí? ¿Y cómo es que lo?
Como bol, así.
We're making a ball out of the masa and then flattening it.
Ya estoy.
My pupusa is like.
¿Estás segura? Yo estoy segura que ya le puedo poner los frijoles.
Okay. So you have to make a round disc out of it. I don't know what's going on with mine. I'm trying. I think I need to add more masa.
No.
No? Okay. No, I don't need to add more masa. Look at hers and look at mine. Mine looks deformed. You're not supposed to have nails when you're doing this.
A los lados, así. Y siente que está muy reseca, se vuelve a mojar las manos y para querer poderla cerrar.
And if you feel like your hands are dry again, or the masa is dry again, then you wet them again so you could form it again. I'm gonna be practicing how to form. Hers looks so good and mine looks like a baby. Like, what am I doing here?
Agarre la amiga y se da cuenta si puede ponerle frijoles.
Okay. I see hers feels a lot more thicker. I think I didn't have enough masa. Did I have enough suficiente masa?
No. Pero-
It's thicker, it's thin on the sides and heavy in the middle. So she wants to make sure that she could put beans in the middle. ¿Esto está listo? Okay. So I'm gonna get my ball of beans again. And she says she likes to put a lot. This part I think I can do. I know I got this part. I'm messing up her pupusa. Formulate it, cup it like a dumpling until all of the masa covers the bean, so you know it's stuffed in there now. ¿Y después qué?
Tiene que volver a hacer así. Yo ya le puse flores también. Tiene que hacerle para los lados así.
And she's saying you have to do it from the sides.
Y ya siente que está más flaquita. Ya la puede palmear así.
I'm trying. This is an epic fail. Guys, this is years of practice. She knows what she's doing. Se me está abriendo ahí.
Ok. Si está abriendo, podemos cerrarle así con tu misma mano.
So if it's opening, you reform it from the sides.
Y la hacemos para los lados otra vez.
And that's just that technique. Right
Y
there.
así, y a veces rápido así, ya se siente que está planita.
Uh-huh.
Ya la podemos poner ahí.
You feel that it's thin, and then you can put them in. Wow, that looks so good.
Como el queso que pusimos no es muy grasoso,
Uh-huh.
mira que no cae aceite a los lados.
So
¿verdad?
you see that the kind of cheese that we use is not too oily. That's why you don't see cheese grease coming out of the pupusas, and that's a good quality of cheese that she uses. And you just repeat the process, guys, over and over and over again. It's practice makes perfect with these. ¿Cuántos años tenías cuando aprendiste a hacer pupusas?
Pues yo soy del campo,
Ajá.
so allá luego de 9 a 10 años ya bien sabe uno hacer muchas cosas.
Where she's from in El Salvador, you know, it's the very country rural side, and already at the year of 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, you're already learning how to do these things, because in our tradition of growing up, if you didn't know how to cook and clean, you never were going to get married, ¿verdad? Si no sabías cómo cocinar y limpiar, nunca te vas a encontrar esposo. That's how our parents used to make us learn how to. You're never going to get married if you don't know how to cook and clean.
Eso dicen los papás, ¿verdad?
Uh-huh. They would bribe us like that. Okay, mine aren't perfectly round, but they're getting there.
Pero lo trata.
I'm trying. ¿Está bien?
Ah, pero está muy gruesa, so tenemos que hacerle más para los lados porque si no, no se cocinar más rápido.
I have to thin mine out a little bit. Clearly, I like them thick. ¿Cuándo sabes que están listos de un lado?
Esta yo sé que no está lista. Se mira que no está bien, pero yo voy chequeando. Ya cuando mira que están de un color así, crees que ya.
You want to look to make sure that it has this brown coloring on the outside before you flip it over to the next side. If it's still too light, then it's not quite ready. So you keep them on the griddle for at least 2-3 minutes. And Christian is over there making a meatball.
Hey. Esta es como yo sé que la acabo de poner, pero si yo siento que la muevo para los lados.
So she says that she can move them to the sides.
Ya quiero decir que ya le puedo dar vuelta.
She thinks that you
Look
can
at
go
mine,
ahead
okay?
and flip them over.
Look at mine.
Okay, Christian
Look.
needs attention right now. That's a big pupusa. What is that? I already know that that's not right.
It's
Right
okay.
there. This is really a family affair when you make these. It's a little bit too much light on this side. Okay, now the finished product, we have our salsa that we freshly just made. our cabbage, cortido, pickled cabbage, we just drain the water out so that it's not as liquidy, but it's already good to go. And our freshly made pupusas. So Rosa nos va a enseñar cómo los preparamos. She's gonna show us the proper way of eating the pupusa. So the traditional way is to take uno, ¿verdad?
Sí, uno. Si quiere uno, vamos a ponerlo. Y depende como le gusta. Si le gusta con el repollo encima y encima la salsa.
Okay, so it's just a matter of taste, guys. Some people don't eat it with the cabbage pickles. I actually just recently just started eating this. I would always
Salsa.
I would just pass it to you. Okay, and then salsa on top. Our fresh made salsa. And there you have it.
Ahora si quiere cortarla con su mano o con cuchillo.
We'll be proper, but I usually would go in. So I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it in half. Cut another half. Because y'all are family, I'm gonna go ahead and eat it just like this. Because this is how it always happens. Okay. Here we go. Moment of truth. If I don't like it, this is the one that Christian made. So good. You can really taste the chili peppers in the salsa too. Really good job. I gotta thank Rosa for helping me make these. I really appreciate it. She took her day off to come and help me out and teach me. Entonces, gracias.
De nada.
Agradezco mucho. Entonces, ahora,
A comer.
a comer. We have a few vultures already around here. So, guys, leave comments. Let me know what you want to learn how to make next. Tamales? Yeah?
Tamales. Salvadoreños.
Salvadoreños? Make tamales next. All right? I'm learning here. We're learning. All right. Bye, guys.